Hey, welcome to Kratos BI. This is Chris Wagner. Today we're going to be talking about the private preview of Azure Synapse Analytics, a brand new tool that Microsoft announced last year at Ignite. It's in private preview now. Soon it's going to be going into public preview before it goes to general release. Today we're going to be talking about Azure Synapse for a little bit, just doing an overview of the product. But more so, we're going to be talking about what does it mean to be part of a private preview, what can you do inside that, and then how do you take advantage of being a member of the private preview. Let's get to it. So Azure Synapse Analytics is a brand new offering that Microsoft has that takes and bundles together all of the tools that anyone who's working in data engineering needs brought together inside of one development platform. So instead of having to run Azure Data Factory and Databricks and SQL DW and analysis services, like Visual Studio, instead of having to bounce around to all these different tools, spinning up these different clusters, running through all these different things, it's all brought together inside of one interface where it's all web-based, so you're not installing a whole bunch of clients. You just go into the portal and you do the work that you want to do as a data engineer. Frankly, I am super excited about this product. When they first announced it, I thought it was like a brilliant stroke that when Microsoft came up with this, and I'm really excited to be part of it or to start using this. Immediately, I reached out to our Microsoft rep and said, hey, I got to get part of this private preview. We want to be part of this development process before it goes live. And we worked with them for several months until last week we finally got approved to be on the private preview. So I am not going to be going over any of the NDA things around Synapse that we've started to dig into, at least until I verify. Josh, if you're watching, me and you should talk. Until I verify what it is we can and cannot release as part of that. But I want to talk to you about 4 tips to being part of a private preview and how you can make that beneficial to yourself. All right, private preview tip number 1. All right, so the first tip is the thing you should know about when getting into a private preview of anything when it comes to Microsoft is that this is going to require some work on your side. This is not just a sales pitch. This is not, you're not going to be heavily laden with a whole bunch of marketing, PR blitz and whatnot. You're going to be working hand in hand with the product team at Microsoft who's working on building out these products and the engineers who are building out this code, right? So think of it as you're the client, going in and meeting with the engineers, before we see that MVP release, right? It is very cool. You're going to be able to get in and play with stuff and work with it, but you're going to have to set some time aside each week to work on the preview, to work on the functionalities that you set out with. So make sure if you're going to get involved in private preview, you have a few hours every week that you can dedicate to this effort. Tip number 2. This is pre-MVP, okay? We're not talking about software that's been out and running for a long time. This is something that will have been running internally to Microsoft for the last 6-12 months, maybe a little bit longer, but that's really about it, right? So their engineers will have been working on it. They'll be using it in many different ways, but expect there to be some bugs, right? Like think about your code. When you first start to talk about it with other people before you're going to share it out with the public, it's going to inherently have some bugs. At least God knows my code does. So when you're working with it, don't expect it to be perfect. Go in with an open mind, go in with open conversations, talk with the product team, talk with those engineers on the calls, ask them, hey, how do you make this work? I would I would expect to be able to do A, B, C. How does this actually work? And maybe you're just coming in from the wrong frame. I know I've been caught with that a number of times. Like, oh, I would expect this, and the engineers or product team explains it to me. It's not A, B, C. It's X, Y, Z, and that makes perfect sense. And I adjust, right? Other times I come in and I go, I think this should be A, B, C, and they're going to take a look and go, oh, we thought 1, 2, 3. No, ABC makes more sense? Oh, okay. And that actually leads us right into tip number 3. Engage with the product team, right? So talk with the product team, talk about the different experiences you're going through, talk with them about what it was like to develop and work with these tools. Understand that they're on a journey, right? In a private preview is an excellent time to provide feedback to those engineering teams. It's true inside of the Power BI stack. It's true inside of the data engineering teams at Microsoft. If you have feedback and guidance to provide them, this is the time where it's very easy for them to make changes to the platform. It's not out and running in production in hospitals and financial companies all over the world that a change could be catastrophic in nature, if it wasn't implemented quite right? So now is the time to engage. You will be able to radically shift the direction of the product if you engage now, and you engage and you talk with them, you work with the product, and you explain what you're going through. All right, so straight up, this is the number one reason why you should be involved in a private preview, is so that these new exciting products that are coming out, you can help Microsoft deliver the best product, because this is what you and your engineering staff is going to be working on for potentially years to come, right? So go in there, engage, and work really hard with what you're doing, all right? All right, and my final tip number 4 for being in a private preview, is make sure that you as an engineering team and you as a customer have a very specific goal in mind. Don't get into the private preview thinking, I'm going to play around, I might do this, I might do that. No, be very, very specific in what it is you're hoping to achieve. Ideally, you will have one major goal and one minor goal that you'll be working towards. At least that's kind of the balance I've always found that made sense, because if you're in a private preview, you're talking about a product that is not, number one, it's not GA, so no SLAs, no support, stuff like that. Near the end of a private preview, it'll start to get SLAs, but most of the time those SLAs won't come around at all until it goes into deep into public preview. If you're in private preview, anything you do has to be throwaway work, right? So have one major goal that you're working towards, and then have one, maybe 2 minor goals that you're working towards, so you can understand the length and the breadth of the product that you're engaging with. Now, if you and your engineering staff have a ton of time to sink into it, and you want to run through major points, especially on something like Synapse, where you've got serverless compute, and you've got your Spark Python, you've got your SQL data warehouse, and you've got your analysis, integration with Power BI. You've got all these different pieces. If you have enough resources and you can define one major piece at each one, hey, great, God bless, go for it. But for most people, having that one major thing that you're working towards and then having a minor thing is really about ideas. All right, so these are my tips for being engaged and being part of a private preview. Remember, to recap, number 1, you get what you put in. Number 2, expect an MVP. It's not going to be perfect. In fact, it's not even going to be close to perfect. It's going to be less than that, right? So it's okay, right? That's fine, right? Private preview tip number 3, engage with the project team, help them understand what you need, what you want it to do. That type of thing will be very helpful. And then private preview tip number 4, make sure that you have a very specific goal in mind. That is really important when you're working with the team. It's really important to have that goal that's so you can know when you've reached it, and you can kind of stop working on something that's 100% throwaway. So, thank you very much for joining me as I kind of walk through just a little bit of what Synapse is, but more so what it means to be part of a private preview. If you like the content that I'm putting out, go out to Kratos or like, subscribe, and if you like all this stuff, go out to KratosBI.com, buy me a coffee. I'll send you a letter, thank you. I'll throw into that letter or a couple stickers, whatever stickers I got left. I don't know how many. These are flying off the shelf. I don't know how long they'll be around, but right now, at any rate, as of February 23rd at 4:07 p.m., I've got the yellow I Love Power BI stickers and the magical holographic I Love Power BI stickers. So thank you guys very much. We will see you next time. Take care.